You had the same crew on Priscilla?
It was all Guillermo's crew, basically. A lot of the camera guys, a lot of the
Amazing.
set publicists. Yeah.
Wow, everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, so for me it was really nice. And it was nice too to meet them as Elvis Presley and then meet them as the Creature.
And you couldn't be a little more different.
Pretty surreal,
unless the Creature had a guitar.
Yeah.
Be but a brief moment. My birth, my grief, your loss. I will not be punished, nor absolved. What hope I had, what rage. 'Tis all nothing.
Welcome to the Actor's Side. Today, I've got one busy actor, I can tell you right now. He is currently starring as the Creature in Frankenstein. Upcoming on Valentine's Day, another classic that was also a book and a movie, Wuthering Heights. Of course, the return, long awaited, of Euphoria coming on too in your life and career right now. And so many things. You're working all the time. This is Jacob Elordi, welcome.
G'day.
Like I say, you've been busy here working.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first goal is to be an actor, and then the next is to stay employed. So I'm pretty lucky.
You're definitely doing that, and incredible. I mean, this is not your father's Frankenstein. You know, first of all, no bolts and scars and all of that, and the image that everybody has of the Creature. And so Guillermo del Toro, who is just genius in my opinion,
Mine too, yeah,
has wanted to do this since he was 11 years old, and he had it, and you became his Creature. That's a big honor.
It is. It's an enormous honor. Just in cinematic history, it's a huge honor, and then in my own sort of personal journey through movies, it's an even bigger pleasure because Guillermo has made the movies that have moved me since I was probably 10 or 11 years old.
And I
grew up with his creatures, really, And
did you go over to his house?
To Bleak House? Yeah, I got to go to Bleak House.
Which is unbelievable. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cabinet of curiosities. It's just a treasure trove of not just creature history and the occult, but of cinema too. He has, he has the original puppets from his Pinocchio and everything in there. It's quite amazing.
Did he have you watch any kind of classic movies while you were making this? Anything like that? Because he's known for
he didn't force me to watch any, but just naturally, the nature of two people that like movies coming together, you end up watching movies together. And we watched one that he gave me on Blu-ray was Fellini's Casanova.
Oh,
I remember watching that.
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, and then we watched this film. I want to say it's called The Clocks.
There was a movie called The Clock
with
Judy Garland.
Yes,
and
Clock.
Robert
That's
Walker.
what it is. Yeah, in the train station.
Yeah,
with
I've seen it many
with that
times.
great shot at the beginning when they're going up and down the escalator.
Isn't that cool?
We watched that on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, that's great because the time is everything.
Fantastic, and Guillermo, I'll never forget. We're sitting there painting action figures, eating food, and there's the moment where they embrace on the steps, on the stoop, sort of towards the end of the film, and he broke down every movement, the tenderness of a finger on the shoulder, and it was one of the most sort of profound movie watching experiences I've had, which was just in his living room in Toronto. But I remember those two, and then there was another one that we watched called, I want to say, The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue.
Okay,
was this kind of undead film, but very British, very I want to say 60s, very 60s kind of film, maybe late 60s, early 70s. I'm not sure. My memory's failing me, but yeah, he has a shelf full of Blu-rays.
Oh,
like thousands of Blu-rays, and every time you leave the house, you say take two.
Really?
Yeah. So he's very generous in his spirit.
What was he like on the set? Since you have a director here who's had a vision for decades and decades of wanting to do this. This is his passion. And he's got you. Now, I know you were not like right from the beginning here. I think it was Andrew Garfield who
Yeah,
was
yeah.
supposed
Andrew,
to do it,
Andrew
right?
was supposed to be in the part. Yeah. And I came in at the last minute. I had about 3 weeks to get ready to play the creature. But working with Guillermo on set was incredible because he has dreamt this thing and built it his whole life. And I think what makes him a genius is he didn't force anything, and he didn't tell you how to do anything. He didn't tell anybody how to do anything. He's incredibly open, and he creates a sincere creative environment in which all these great artists are inspired and welcomed to operate at the best of their abilities, all for this common goal, which is the movie, and that all comes from him. He creates the pot that everybody can put their own little flavor into.
Could you imagine that you would have been, since you came in at the last minute, all of a sudden you're playing the creature? This is, and you were doing a mini-series, I believe, at the time, and you'd lost.
Justin Kurzel, yeah.
Did you lose a lot of weight or something for that?
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. I was decently thin at the time, which I feel like I can talk about now, because at the time, if you talk about it in the press, then it becomes about how thin you were. But yeah, and I was very thin and decently unwell, and I was looking at taking a break, because we were all going to take a break after filming to build back to sort of what we were. And then this movie came along, but my physicality and the state of mind that I was in was the perfect place to start playing this creature from, because I was already kind of creature-like in the way I was moving through the world because of the show.
So you were being reborn in a sense when you were doing this role?
I like to think so, yeah. Which something like that happens every time when you play something, but this one particularly offered an opportunity for reinvention in a pretty profound way for me.
Yeah. The prosthetics and the makeup are extraordinary here. No,
Mike Hill.
That goes without saying. He's brilliant here.
He is, yeah.
But I can't imagine what you went through. 10 hours or something in a makeup chair for certain days, and maybe half of that if it was a lighter day. I don't know.
Yeah. If you have the coat on. Yeah. It was a lot of things all at once. But the most overwhelming memory I have from the whole thing is that at the end of that 10 hours, and only at the 10-hour mark, was I ready to go in and do the scene. Because your blood had moved around in a certain way, your thoughts had moved around your mind and through your body in a certain way, and your legs had gone to sleep and woken up and gone to sleep, and the pinpricks of the brushes and the smells of the glues in your nose make you something other than human.
Wow.
You start to get addicted to it because you reach this kind of Zen state at the end of the 10 hours in which you can kind of do anything. Wow. That's what it felt like anyway.
So were you in a Zen? I'm just curious, when you're in a makeup chair that long, and I've talked to actors and they say 4 or 6 hours. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody with 10 hours in that.
Yeah, I was in a Zen state, but I try to be in one when I'm working anyway. Something comes over me when I make a movie that is, it's an invitation to depart the world for a while, sort of as we all know it, and to do something different. So this was just an extreme version of that, because the result at the end of the 10 hours wasn't my hair done and I'm in jeans and a different t-shirt. It was, what was looking back at me was something completely other, which is kind of profound. Everyone else, all these other artists help do the work to get you to this point of transformation,
right,
in which you can see yourself and really believe that you have been transformed into something else. And then when you get to set, because everyone's been waiting, and you don't really, when you're the creature, you don't take part in the film the same way everybody else does, because we're off in a room getting ready, and then everyone's getting ready for the film, and we come in at the last minute. So everyone was sort of, by the time you arrived, everyone's idea of you had changed as well, because the crew never really got to meet me out of makeup or costume, or out of voice. So there was this change that happened from the chair into the set, which was really, really helpful. And I can't take credit for it, because it was generated by the nature of the film itself.
Did you have lunch breaks and just go out on the town in the makeup?
No. I was hidden under cloaks and umbrellas, and
Yeah.
it was really important that no one saw what he was.
Oh, it would have ruined the beginning for me.
Yeah, it's vital, and it's the number one rule of a monster movie is you can't see the monster until it's time for you to see the monster.
And particularly in this, because the opening, which I thought was spectacular with the ship and everything, and where you're
with the red herring, yeah.
Yeah, and you're showing up, but you are in a cloak and you are covered, and you're going like,
what is it?
Okay,
yeah.
What is it?
It's cool.
That can't be the creature, can it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is.
Well, it's also an idea of the creature through the lens of Victor's tale and whatever preconceived notions you have when you go into the cinema of the creature, which is why Guillermo's a genius again, because it then gives you this 3-part tragedy in which you can see it as one thing,
right? And
then you're told the truth, and you have to change your opinion by the end of the film on this creature, which is the nature of Shelley's book. Yeah, is that it's don't judge a book by its cover.
It's totally this is about humanity. Oddly enough, he's creating it. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's AI." I don't think it's AI.
No. This film couldn't be less about that, and it's interesting. You get asked about it all the time because that's.
Well, I'm sure because it's man-made,
right? But I think it's totally about being human, and particularly about fathers and sons, but also just about. Oscar said something really interesting when he reread the novel. There's so many references to Victor's friends and his loved ones throughout the novel. It's super important, and the captain needs to get home to his family, and there's such a strong theme of connection and family and friendship that endures through the text that I think Guillermo did an incredible job of sucking out of it and putting into his and using it to make his version what it is.
Yeah, and now you probably didn't have a whole lot of time to do research, but did you read the book, as opposed to the script? I
can get a lot done in a small amount of time. I've been decently obsessive about movies since I was 13 or 14 years old. So given the opportunity and a time crunch, I'm very good at turning my life off and ignoring the things that need to be addressed and only focusing on this kind of creative world. And the script that Guillermo gave me was so rich, and it was like a dessert buffet. There was so much in there to think about and to dive into. And then Guillermo sent me like 15 books and a list of films and a playlist of music. And then I was lucky enough, because I was already at home, I got to go to my house. And I live in the middle of the woods, and it's completely isolated. And I got to isolate myself and just sort of be around nature, which is the creature in Guillermo's film. It's his natural state is that of nature. Sure. And that's where he finds all his peace as well in the world before it gets disrupted. So I kind of got to start living like the creature in that time and absorbing everything in it.
Does that make you a method creature?
I've always appreciated anything that takes somebody's complete dedication. And I am really enamored by passion. So for me, it's just, I couldn't play something if I didn't feel passionate and didn't go, I can't leave a stone unturned. For me, it's a great privilege to be able to go into go and live in a fairy tale for 6 months. And if I'm method, then Guillermo's his script is method, and the set is method, and the costumes are method. Everything. It's just fully fleshed and detailed. And that to me would be what method is like, you have to take it seriously, and you have to flesh it out, and you have to make it as real as possible. Just because everyone else is. Dan Lauston is, with his lighting and with the camera, and Oscar is because he's an incredible performer, and so is Mia Goth, and Guillermo definitely is. So you kind of have to bring all of yourself to a film like this.
Totally. It's so interesting the way it's structured, because it's really Victor's movie in the first half, and it's your movie in the second half, and the way it goes, and the creation. You said he sent you a lot of books, 15 books or so. Not all on Frankenstein, right?
No, he sent the Tao Te Ching, which was really, really incredible. It was sort of about coming to peace with dying and nothingness, and then he sent this particular version of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which was sort of annotated on the sides, and he sent this baby development book.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah, it was really helpful
Because he's looking at this creature as basically
as
being
newborn.
a baby,
Yeah,
as a newborn.
yeah, he is newborn, but he also is newborn with no real DNA.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing. He's a newborn with no, nothing human, you know. And so it's interesting that he becomes completely human by the end of it. But yeah, and that sort of led me to watching the children around me that are in my life, and watching my dog, and these things that carry sort of great innocence, and they don't lie in their movement or in their speech or in the way they look at things. It's impossible for them to lie because they haven't become conscious really of the world yet. So it was an important part to Victory.
I tell you, my local theater here in Los Angeles, every time I go in it, and I go a lot, I love going to the movies and with real people.
That's the movie.
I do.
Yeah.
You are all over the lobby there in Wuthering Heights already. You know?
Is it out there?
Oh my God, the biggest poster you've ever seen. This is like
The
a
big
huge
white one?
And it's you and Margot Robbie and that kind of passionate thing. And it's like, I'm looking at this. It's another movie. It's like Frankenstein. It comes from the classics. Of course, the movie was a classic too.
Yeah, of course.
And it seems like you're at this phase in your career where you're being attracted to some of that.
I don't know what's happening in cinema, and I'm sure we'll have a retrospective on this time. There'll be essays written about it, but something's happening in which these worlds, and especially these Gothic worlds, are being put to the forefront. And I'm just lucky enough that filmmakers that I have idolized and studied and really believe in as our great artists have made these films. You know, Guillermo with Frankenstein and Emerald with Wuthering Heights, and it's nothing deeper than that, other than just that I've been, you know, gifted the opportunity to work with people that I would have made any film with,
right? And
then on top of it, it's just playing these, you know, these truly huge characters that exist in the canon of the world.
Well, in the canon of literature and in movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they're also what they represent. Both of those characters, just in what they represent in all of us, the kind of universal nature, you know, of them, is what's interesting to me. You know,
like Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, which is Laurence Olivier, of course. But it's been made.
And Richard Burton.
Yep, and Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
And
pretty good.
You know?
They're pretty good at what they do.
Pretty good, yeah. So why were you attracted to that?
It's the same as Frankenstein, as Emerald. Emerald sent me a text and said, "Will you be my Heathcliff?" And I said yes. And that was it.
Without reading the script?
That was yeah. I mean, I don't need to read a script from Emerald to know that I'll make the movie.
Yeah. Of course, you did Saltburn with
yeah,
her.
Yeah, and I hadn't read that script before I auditioned for the movie. I just had the sides, and then
I have the greatest book on Saltburn. They put out the most beautiful.
I just saw that.
Have you just saw it?
Somebody had it behind in one of the premieres.
When it came out, it was
that
there.
A real thing?
And I interviewed her, and I brought my book. I rarely do this, but I brought the book, and I said, "You've got to sign this for me," because it opens up. It's different pages. It's just very cool.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get my hands on it. I haven't seen it.
I'm sure she can get you one.
You'd think that.
I'd give you mine, but I
honestly,
won't give it up.
Netflix have been amazing at giving me merch. But every other movie that I've made, like a vinyl will come out, and I'll see it at the store, and it didn't. You know, you'd think that you would get sent all of it because your face is on the front of it, but no.
Come on, well,
but not at Netflix.
They didn't.
Not my friends at Netflix.
Speaking of that movie, I saw that a couple of times. I had to see it a second time because I didn't pick it all up the first time. I'm going like, all right, you know. And when I saw it a second time, it was like a different film to me. You know, you see so much more in it, and what everybody in it was so good. And she's such an extraordinary director.
She is extraordinary, and I really don't think it's like you ain't seen nothing yet. Like she has, I think she has so much to say in cinema for a really long time. So I'm so excited watching her films
Oh yeah,
come
yeah.
out. But same with Frankenstein. The more times you watch it, the film changes. You can watch Frankenstein and just watch the background, and it's a different film. You can see the sets start to deteriorate as Victor deteriorates, and as the creature comes to life, the plants grow. Like there's so much going on it's like a tapestry, like this layered tapestry that Guillermo has like intricately woven.
It's so visual. All of his films, you know, if you look at what he's done,
Yeah.
The Shape of Water, which he deservedly won Oscars for. At one time, I think he wanted to do the Creature from the Black Lagoon. He wanted to remake that, and it never happened.
Imagine that would be a sight.
It would be, but The Shape of Water became. I'm so glad he didn't
did his
do
own
it,
version. Yeah.
because he did his own
Well, yeah.
thing.
Recreated something.
And Pinocchio too became a whole different thing. I mean, it's extraordinary. Did you always want to be an actor?
Me? Yeah. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor probably since I was 12 years old. I did my first play, and that was my life. It's like somebody clubbed me over the head, and I woke up a different person after going on stage for the first time. I never saw the world the same way again, and I've not existed in the world the same way since.
Really?
Sort of reading a script and then putting it on stage to an audience. Something shifted, and I hope for better.
Yeah,
but I'm on the train now. There's no, and most actors I think can relate to that. When it grabs you in the night and puts a sack over your head, and you get taken away, you can never go back to normal again. Like you belong to the pitches and to performance
and
forever.
to the things. But you're evolving. I read something about you. You said you were at a point in your career where this movie came along that had to come along, even though there was a lot of pain for you at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly, for me, being a performer or trying to create anything of any kind takes constant reevaluation and of what you're doing and how you're doing it and what you're trying to say and what you want to say, and or does this matter or does that matter? So I'm constantly, I think, after most jobs, in a state of recreating or rebuilding or trying to understand something differently. So I was definitely in that. I was in a phase of that, I think, because I'd been prepping the show I was doing for about a year, and I just was coming to the end of seeing the sort of fruition of.
That was the limited series.
It was Narrow Road to the Deep North, yeah. So I'd been building this character, Dorogo, thinking about it for a year or so.
Wow.
And we were coming to the end of the death camp sequence of that, which meant the end of Dorogo and a year of sort of falling into this thing. So I was definitely in a spot of wondering, like, who am I and what do I do and how do I eat and what do I listen to and what do I like, and so then this film came along at a time. It kind of gave me a lot of answers because I got to just go back to being nothing and try, and I had a blank canvas that I could just sit in the room and throw paint at and see what color I liked or what kind of shape I liked. And I found that out through the film, through collaborating with Guillermo and working with Oscar and.
It was clear you were fated to play this. There was something in the atmosphere. There was something going on that you had to be drawn to this personally, and I think for Guillermo too.
I think that something has to have happened that with me in this movie, because I've told this story before, but I had said while I was shooting Priscilla in Toronto,
right,
I was working with Guillermo's crew. Cleona in the hair department was doing my hair for that, who did the hair in the film in Frankenstein, and I asked her what her next movie was, and she said Guillermo's Frankenstein, and I was playing Elvis, so I was like decently cocky every day in the chair. It required like some kind of extra swagger, and I just looked at her. I remember saying like, I was like, I'm supposed to be in that movie, and she was like, no, you're not. She's like, did you audition? And I said, no. I was the other guy's in it. She's like, I know. She's like, Andrew's in it. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm supposed to be in it. I have no idea why I said that. I've never gone after a role. And I was just being funny. And then a year later, basically to the month, I got the phone call, Guillermo wants to meet you. And then I read the script and it was for The Creature. And I knew then, I was like, oh, okay.
See,
I was right.
You were fated to. And you had the same crew on Priscilla?
Yeah,
You played Elvis, obviously.
Tamara, who created the sets, she designed Graceland.
Wow.
And then Cleona did my wigs and Elvis. And then she did the hair on the other characters, not The Creature, but on the others in Frankenstein. It was like it was all Guillermo's crew, basically. A lot of the camera guys, a lot of the set publicists.
Wow, everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, so for me it was really nice. And it was nice too to meet them as Elvis Presley and then meet them as The Creature.
And that you couldn't be a little more different, unless The Creature had a guitar.
Yeah. It was pretty unbelievable, honestly.
That really is. Did you have a good time playing Elvis, by the way?
I did. I mean, Sofia Coppola. It's like, it's as good as it looks. Working with her, it really is. It was such a special movie. Yeah,
and it was a good one too. It's interesting that it came out pretty much the same time as
I think it's good in terms of a double feature and in terms of scale versus intimacy. And here's this story.
Right.
Especially from the perspective of Sofia. And through Priscilla's eyes, I think it's nice to have that conversation in cinema.
Yeah, totally. I mean, another movie I've just read that you did, and which I can't wait. Just what I read about it, I can't wait. First of all, that it's Ridley Scott, who directed it. It's called The Dog Star, and it's you and Josh Brolin.
Yeah, and Guy Pearce, and Margaret Qualley, and Benedict Wong.
Fantastic.
Allison Janney.
Oh my God.
Crazy, right? Crazy cast.
So Ridley Scott, who's sat here before, who just fascinates me. He didn't make his first feature film till he was 40.
Yeah.
Now he's like in his mid-80s or beyond, and he's directing these movies.
He made some iconic commercials though too.
I know. Yeah, he's extraordinary.
Yeah, and he's still directing movies. I mean, the greatest gift of that film was going to set and seeing him in his trailer and watching him direct and realizing that the end products didn't matter. What mattered was that he got to be on location making a movie. That's where he draws his energy from. That's his life force. His life force is cinema. And I watched him wake up every day because of movies and direct and live and smile. And he has so much energy. And I believe it's directly mainlined from cinema into him.
Wow.
And to see somebody enjoy it like that.
Yeah.
And a pioneer of our cinema still enjoy it to that degree, that gives you a lot of hope.
And totally. I do remember I was interviewing him for the Gucci movie that had come out. And I said, what are you doing next? And he says, oh, Napoleon. Doing Napoleon. I've got 6 cameras.
That's a small amount of cameras.
6, more cameras and 6 battles.
Yeah, he did have big fights in that movie.
And he was so excited about the battles and and all of that. And he just he's like a kid almost.
Which is at its finest. That's what cinema does and can do.
Right.
And it's not just for filmmakers and actors; it's for the audience as well.
Yeah.
If we can just let it transport us, it will. That's its whole design, is to transport you.
Yeah. So this was cool. You get to work with a dog in this too.
Yeah, I got to work with Raksha. This beautiful Malinois. Just an incredible dog. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that's coming out in March.
I believe next
Wuthering
year.
Heights. Wuthering Heights is coming out in February on Valentine's Day. I know this from my theater.
That movie is for kissing. It's for kissing in the back row with your crush.
It is. Okay.
That is why you must go see it.
Is it hugely romantic version?
Yeah, it's love on an epic scale. I got to see the film 2 weeks ago, and it's so heartbreaking. There's so much anguish in it, but it's so beautiful.
Wow.
And it's so uniquely beautiful,
That's cool. So Emerald Fennell, Guillermo del Toro, Ridley Scott, you know, all these people that you work with these great directors, you know, you're on a roll here.
I'm so incredibly lucky. You have no idea. It's insane.
Well, before we go, they would fire me if I didn't try to get anything out of you on the third season. So awaited,
Everyone
you know.
loves that.
They've been waiting a long time for this to come back. Of Euphoria, obviously. I'm talking about Euphoria, which is a, you know, phenomenon, television phenomenon that is
Shout out
there.
Sam Levinson.
So how does it all end?
Genius. You know, I have no idea.
Yeah.
The worst thing about being in Euphoria is it makes you feel like you're in a superhero movie, because it's like you get asked all these questions that like I have no idea. But what I do know is I've seen some of it and it's completely different, which is amazing because television always follows a system of tropes, especially by the third season, in which everybody's just making money and the entertainment value and the artistic value of the piece just becomes garbage. But one thing I can say about Sam Levinson is he will never do that. So it's entirely original and it's so cinematic. Yeah. Like it some of the shots blew my mind. Wow. Like when I saw them in the viewing room, I was like, my jaw was just hanging. It was so gorgeous. So I'm excited to see how it all gets pieced together and what it becomes.
So exciting. Well, I can't wait to see what you do next. What a resume you've got so far.
Thanks very much.
You're just starting. You're just getting going. Thank you so much, Jacob Elordi, for joining us today on the Actor's Side. And check out Frankenstein, check out Wuthering Heights, check out Euphoria, check them all out. They're all good. Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.